Hey everyone, you're tuned in to Let's Talk About It with Mrs. R. Yeah, you heard me. I have an exciting show today, and I'm so excited because I have a special guest here. I have Dr. Robert Brown, that is a part of Motown. We're going to be bringing you Motown at the best. Hi, how are you today?
Oh, listen, I can't complain. If it got any better, I'd start worrying.
Well, you know what? Don't worry, because you're in good hands with me.
That's what my wife says all the time. Don't
I
worry,
bet
honey, you're
she
in good
does.
hands.
I bet she does. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, Dr. Brown?
Well, I was raised downtown Detroit.
Mhm.
I came up the hard way. My dad was a factory worker, came out of Kentucky. And I went to him one day and I said, Dad, I need a quarter. I want to take this girl to the show. He says, it's about time you start carrying your own weight and earning your money. So he repaired watches on the side. He used to buy them by the box at Myers Jewelers for 25, 50 cents a piece. And I don't know how much he put in them to fix them, but most of them ran. They just need to clean it up because they took trades and they didn't care. So he hands me 5 watches.
Mhm.
I said, what am I going to do with these? You're going to go out and sell them. Anything over $5 is yours.
Mhm.
I said, well, I think I can figure this out. So the first watch, I went to this waitress. I said, look at this beautiful watch. It was a gorgeous watch. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I says, look at this beautiful watch. I said, what do you want for it, honey? She had a lot of tips.
Mhm.
I said, $15. She says, I can't give you that much, but I'll give you 10.
Mhm.
And that's how my career started.
Wow.
By that weekend, I sold all 5 watches. Sunday night, I gave my dad $30. And he said, what'd you make? I said, enough to keep going. You got any more?
Oh,
He didn't
my
know I
goodness.
made as much as he did. But he worked at a factory in the evening for $45 a week. So he did pretty good.
Right.
And I think our home was only $45 a month to rent as a flat. So that's how I got started into the sales world. And then in school, I went to Override High School, and principal came up, put my arm around me. He says, you're out there knowing what's going on. We were having a sock hop on a Friday, this coming Friday.
Right.
They got it canceled Wednesday. And I said, okay, what's your budget? I have no idea why he said, what's your budget? It just popped in my head. I must have heard it someplace. He says, well, I know you'll try to get more money out of me. He said, but we only got $30 to work with.
Mhm.
So I say to my buddy, it says, hey, who do you know it's in entertainment? I need somebody to book for Friday night for the sock hop. So he says, my cousin's in town. His name is Jackie Wilson. He's from Chicago. And he says, I want you to we'll go over and talk to him. So I went over and knocked on the door, and he stuck his head around the corner. Jackie was about 25 then. He's on his 5th or 6th hit. And he says, I'll do the show, but I can't have anything less than $15. I got 2 backup singers. That was a lot of money then.
Right.
But I wasn't real good at spelling, but I was really good at math. I knew 15 from 30 left 15. So
Right.
that was my cut for 3 minutes.
Right. Right.
And I'm
Right.
thinking, boy, I got to do this more often. This is fun anyway. So anyway, I booked Jackie. And then after that, every other week, they came to me and he said, well, you got a good act. The place packed. There's only a quarter to get in, but it's part of the agreement. And they made their money out selling things and, pop and stuff like that. And so that's how I got into it. And then this my cousin says, why don't you talk to this boy, you're a Barry Gordy guy? I said, who the hell's Barry Gordy? He said, he's an entertainer. He has Motown Records. I said, oh, I've heard of him. That's a little place over on West Grand Boulevard. He said, well, I'd like you to meet him. So I went and met Barry at 20 grand. It's an all black club. So I walk in there, and the lady, Big Mama, never forget all those I live. She's about 6 foot tall, weighed about 300 pounds, and she had red hair. The beautiful big smile. Said, honey, are you lost? I said, no, I'm not lost. She said, what are you looking for? I'm looking for Barry Gordy. She said, this is all black club. I said, oh, I didn't know that. So Barry come over. I sat down with him and talked with him. He said, I need you to go to work for me. I said, what do you want me to do? He said, I want you to book the acts. You got the right face. Otherwise, I was white. I could get him in clubs, get him in places that he couldn't go. He was a brilliant man.
I have to stop you, Dr.
Yeah.
Brown. When you say that he said that you could get him in all the right places.
Yes.
So back then you're saying that blacks couldn't get in the right places?
Absolutely not.
And why is that?
Because they were stupid and prejudiced.
Well, you know what? I'm thinking about this because you're talking about years and years ago. So we know that there was a lot of racism, and there still is a lot of racism. But the thing about it with Motown, my understanding is that they had to be trained. They were trained and they were poised, and they had to act like royalty, so that they had to be out there. Is that correct?
Well, they were way ahead. Barry was ahead of his times, 20 years.
Okay.
He was a class act. His people worked for him. They were loyal to him. I mean, I met so many people. I met Marvin Gaye, and Marvin Gaye was a class act. And these people had to go the extra mile.
Right.
And when I booked them, these people that I booked them at didn't know they were black, but they were popular.
Right.
And their music was playing.
Right.
So I got indoors. He couldn't. He was right, but he paid me good money. He tried to get me on a 6-month contract, and I wouldn't do it because I was uncontrollable.
Right.
There wasn't nobody
Absolutely.
control me in those days. So I said to Barry, I says, where you want to go? He says, well, this is the clubs I need to get in. I said, oh, okay. So I go there. I tell them about the act, show them the movie. They still didn't know.
They didn't know what?
That the singers were black.
And so when you booked them, they still had to honor. So did you sign a contract then and they had to honor the contract? Or
no, it was
how did that work?
But they sold out.
So they weren't going to take it back?
They didn't want to hear about it.
Wow.
From then on, they call me when they didn't call me. They got a hold of me some way or another. They always found me. And so I booked a lot of the big acts. Then I was invited to go on WXYZ TV, Detroit Bandstand. I was on there. I met so many people. Here's just a few of them I met. I met Smokey Robinson. I met Martha and the Vandals. I met Marvin Gaye, Jackie. Well, but we didn't know they were going to be big.
You know what? When I think about this, like you went into Motown, right?
Yeah.
And Berry Gordy took you on. You were like his right-hand man. Is that correct?
Well, I was just a booking agent, 16 or 17.
But that's to
He
me.
He relied on me.
Right. He relied on you. So that's like a right-hand man because everything that was going out there, you were able to get him, like he said, into doors that he would never be able to get into.
He paid me big money. So after the first show, he says, who do you know at WJR Radio? I said, well, my buddy, he spins records there. That means he played records.
Right.
He said, let's go see him. So we went over to WJR Radio. And there was a big station at the time in Detroit, and he laid out 5 records, and he says to my buddy, he says, I want to play these 5. He said, that ain't going to happen. Fat chance.
Wow.
Barry whipped out $100 bill and laid on top of those 5 records. He says, I think we can work this out.
Wow.
So they played those records. In those times, it's all who you know, who you paid.
Right. So in saying that, when you first met Berry Gordy, did he have money or?
Oh, he had money.
Oh,
he had style. He dressed to kill. He had girls hanging all over him.
Of course.
Big time. That was Berry. And then the second thing he asked, and he paid me $100. My dad worked 2.5 weeks for $100. So just for getting him in there with those 5 records.
Really?
Now he says, do you know anybody that's in the recording business? I said, yes. My girlfriend's dad owns a big record company downtown. He said, let's go see him. So we went down there, and he says, he says to the guy, he says, I want to order these 5 records. They're 45s. He says, I want 1,000 of each. What do you make on them? He says, I make 4 cents a copy.
Wow.
And he says, you got to pay the tax. He says, okay, I want 1,000 of each. I'll pay you what you make, and then I'll pay the tax. And they reported to Billboard magazine. Tell me Barry wasn't a genius. So those 5 records were playing, was reported to Billboard magazine, and they started out as a hit before they even hit.
So basically, it was predestined for you to meet Berry Gordy.
Absolutely. No doubt in my mind.
You know, no matter what you were doing, the bottom line is that you brought a lot to Berry Gordy. Is that correct?
Well,
and Motown.
He paid me big money. I didn't know it was that big a deal.
Well, you know now, we know now that
back.
It was a big deal when you look back on it. Now, when you met Marvin Gaye, tell me a little bit about Marvin Gaye as well.
I only met him twice. He was a class act.
What made him a class act?
His attitude, the way he dressed, the way he presented himself, and he walked like he was already there.
He was there.
Yeah.
He was there to me. You know, I don't know. Like, I remember when he got killed.
Yeah.
And I think I was in high school then when that happened. It broke me. It crushed me. Oh my God. I didn't know, that couldn't have been true to me.
Yeah.
When I go back and I reflect over what happened, it's just a very sad situation and a talent gone too soon. But, another thing I would ask you, I know that you said you met Smokey Robinson as well.
Yes.
Is that correct? Tell me about Smokey, because I've met Smokey several times.
I've only met him once. It was on
Okay.
WXYZ TV, and he was young, and I was very young. I didn't know who he was. The only thing I know, the man could sing.
You have the blue eyes like him, too.
Well, a little bit. But he was, again, a class act.
Right.
He had such a beautiful attitude, and there was no color. no color there.
I can
People
see
meeting
that you don't
people.
have color. You don't, you're
Yeah.
color blinded. It's no
Yeah.
color for you. And that's a good thing. And that's what the world needs more of. No color. Just look at the person, look into the heart and know what kind of person they
Treat them
truly
the
are.
way they
Correct,
treat
Dr.
you.
Brown?
But I'll tell you, one of the most exciting things happened is when I came to Las Vegas. I was on the way to Hawaii, just went through a divorce. I met my wife. I was the luckiest guy in the world. And I dated her for about a year and a half. She says, I really love you, but man, you got to straighten up. You're out there. She was right. And I was booking shows, all kinds of shows. And I met the coasters.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that,
So
Dr. Brown.
that was quite an event. I've always had two or three things. I worked for a car dealership. I was selling Fords while doing all the shows. That was regular money. And this guy walks on a lot. It's raining like heck out. And nobody wants to go wait on him. So I went out there and he was prancing around. Cornell had to be at least 6'3", 6'4". And he says, I want to buy a car, but nobody will wait on him. They don't take me serious. So I'm taking you serious. What do you want? I sold him a car in 20 minutes. I had to take him down to get his driver's license. He paid cash for it, and then I met the whole group.
Wow.
I said, what do you do? He says, I'm a rock and roll singer. He said, remember the song Yak and Yak, Poison Ivy and Search? I said, yeah, I grew up with that. He says, we're looking for a manager. I said, you just found me.
You're looking for a manager and you took it right away.
Oh, snapped them up just like that.
Now,
So
are
anyway,
you still working? You're still working with Motown as well, though, right? Or no, you're
this is
gone.
later on down the road.
Okay.
So I'm digressing. So I have a lifetime contract. And when he got killed, I got a call 2 in the morning. And he says, oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do. And he says, this is his backup singer. He says, Cornell got killed. I said, why? He says, he's out there fooling around. Something happened. I want to get into it. He says, what are we going to do? Well, I was their manager. I set up their corporation for them. And I got a hold of the company and I said, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the corporation. You own it. You are the original coasters. You went to court. You won that title. And for the next 15 years, I'll book them all over the world. And that's a funny story. I booked them in Kentucky. Now, here's a black group, rock and roll. I booked in Kentucky.
Wow, that's unusual. Now, I understand. Can you tell me a little bit more about the coasters? Because I understand they were called the Clown's Princes, or
well, they had 2 or 3 different names. This was the original ones. They had popping up all over the place because nobody knew how to tie up the names.
Why is that?
Well, because they could get away with it.
Can't get away with it now, though, right?
No.
Oh, everything is legit.
In fact, I talked to the head guy of the coasters.
Right.
What's his name? My mind went blank. Anyway, I talked to him last night. I said, you want to come over and do a show? He says, well, I'm down in California doing a show. He said, if I could get out of this airport in time, I'll come down for the meeting. If not, we'll rebook it. So anyway, one was Teddy Z. Z was a singer. There's only 2 left out of the 4. And Charlie Duncan, he was ahead of it. Charlie was a drummer.
Okay.
And we booked the show. My wife, she sang all kinds of music. We booked it on the Strip. And Charlie got a hold of me. He says, we got a problem. The backup singer didn't show up. So Cornell says, what are we going to do? I says, well, Charlie's going to come up front. We could get another drummer. He said, Charlie ain't a singer. I said, yeah, he is. You just don't know it. You're so busy doing your own thing. So Charlie Duncan came up, and he did a fabulous job. From then on, he became the backup singer. We got a new drummer. And then Teddy Z was marvelous. I was so blessed to work with such great people. And I knew it. By then, I knew what I was working with.
Right.
And there's another guy who he sang Before the Next Teardrop Falls.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Big song. And my wife and I managed him for several years. And I just had so much. I stumbled into him. I stumbled into deals. But the difference is, when I stumbled into them, I knew there were deals. I just had to figure out what I was going to do with them.
You know what? That is a beautiful thing, Dr. Brown, all the things that you're doing, all the things that you did. Guys, if you don't know, what we're discussing is a little bit of everything. It's a lot of history with Dr. Brown. So we take you to Motown, we take you to the Coasters, we take you to rock and roll. We're taking you to everything. So just keep listening, okay?
Yes.
Dr. Brown, go ahead and finish because I'm so excited to talk to you. You have so much history, and I just want to know all about it.
Well, it'd probably take a couple days to have to bring a roll of bed and lunch, but we won't go that far.
Okay, okay.
But the people that I met in my lifetime, they trusted me.
Mm-hmm.
And I never told anybody anything that I couldn't do. I kept my word. Even if I lost money, I kept my word.
Right.
I always try to keep my word. And that's all we got in our life is our word.
Right. Your word is your bond.
Yes.
And God is the head of it.
And let me tell you, there's people, even with contracts, I wouldn't deal with them.
Really?
Yeah, because their word was no good.
Right.
And I did a lot of business on a handshake. They don't do that anymore. You need to check to see if you got your ring on. If they do that.
After you do the handshake, right? Yeah. You want to know if you still have it. That's how crooked they are.
And then I'll digress a little bit. Back in Detroit, while I was doing the shows, this lieutenant in my neighborhood was cruising one day, and he said, "Hey, Brown, come here." I said, "What do you want?" He said, "How'd you like to be a cop?" I said, "I'm too short. I'm too short. You got to be 6'2" and above." He said, "Well, we're starting a whole new program.
Right.
It's a deep undercover. We're hiring 10 guys. I want you to be the first because I trust you and believe in you." He watched me grow up.
Right.
So I went into that for 2 years, 7 months, and 18 days. And that was quite an experience. We robbed drug dealers. I won't get into names or anything at this point. And in between...
Police they robbed drug dealers?
Oh, yeah.
Get out of here.
You don't want to hear that story. That's a whole different story.
I can't believe that, but okay.
No, we robbed them.
Really?
Yeah, we had 19 raids and
so you couldn't arrest them if you robbed them, right?
You can't rob them if they're not around.
Well, never mind. Never mind.
I don't want to get into that story.
Okay, we're not getting into that.
Our next meeting. But I met a lot of people. I learned how to judge people quick. Mm-hmm. Not that I'm so smart. I'm still working at 82, but it's my choice.
Right. And you look great for 82. I didn't even know you were 82.
Well, my wife makes me go to the gym every day, kicking and screaming 5 days a week.
Are you kidding me?
And she feeds me good food. I don't work out heavy. I work out light. Okay. She's younger than I am, but that's okay. I need a younger woman to keep me busy. And
I need an older man to keep me together, so we could vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Dr. Brown. So tell me, you have more Motown. Did you ever meet Aretha Franklin?
Yes, I did.
No way.
Yes.
Get out. Tell me about her.
I met her. I had to be about 25 then. She was out of this world. And one of my wife's favorite singers, we met her when she came to the casino here. We got the chance to have coffee with her, meet her. She was fabulous. And
Now, was she Queen of Soul?
Oh, God, yes.
I mean, was she poised as well?
She was unbelievable and pleasant.
Oh,
pleasant to deal with. Who was the gal? Wait, was it Cornell?
Cornell.
Yeah, Cornell was the head of the singers. Who was the gal that I met that we saw? We saw a lot of shows. Mm-hmm.
Well, Vegas had a lot of shows back then as well.
A lot of shows.
Right, exactly.
We met Frank Sinatra. We met so many country acts. A guy named Carl Perkins. He wrote who?
Freddie Fender.
Freddie Fender was who we managed for 14 years, my wife and I. Freddie Fender did Before the Next Teardrop Falls. That was an incredible story. So I asked Freddie, how in the heck did you get in the music business? Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I'm in this studio. I'm strung out of my mind. He's a rock and roll singer.
Right.
And this guy says, I'll give you $50 if you do this song for me.
$50? That's a lot of money.
Well, yeah. And he says, nah, I don't do country. He says, how about 100? He says, for 100, I'll do country. So he did Before the Next Teardrop Falls.
Okay.
My wife did that show with him too.
Wow.
Fabulous.
Wow.
Fabulous. So I says, what happened? He said, my buddy called me at 3 a.m. and he says, did you know you have a bullet? Now, a bullet means you're going to number 1. in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, no. He said, I've been on the shelves a long time on your new songs. He says, no, dummy, it's country. Turn it on. He had 5 hits right after that. He didn't like country, but he did it. So sometimes you're at the right place at the right time. You don't even know what's going to happen. So that's how Freddie Fidler got started.
Wow. So it was a continuation. And he fell in love with country or what?
Pardon me?
Did he fall in love with country or what?
Fell in love with the money and the bookings.
That's good. Well, you know, I think that with that being said, you still have more stories of more people that you work with. Now, when you say that, the Supremes.
Oh, yes.
You met them?
I booked them.
No way.
Yeah, I booked them. I booked them at the Arcadia Roller Rink in Detroit, which used to be right downtown Detroit. It was it was a conference place, and they had roller skating there, and I met her, booked her there. The Supremes were fabulous. You know, most of these people, Barry didn't pay him much.
Mm-hmm.
No, he didn't pay him much until he got the contracts.
I got a question for you. When you say Barry didn't pay him much, now they make money off of records though, right?
Barry controlled everything.
No way.
Whatever they did, they had to go through him. Barry was a control freak. He sold out for millions and millions of dollars, but he was good to them.
Mm-hmm.
They always had them. They always had a place to stay. They always had a ride if they needed it. They always had clothes if they needed it. He was like their dad. He wasn't like their manager. And Barry paid them pretty good money, but not great money.
Well, in saying that too, I see a lot of movies. I don't know whether they're true or not, but I seen where, he would bring them to the house. They would have big pool parties.
Oh,
and
yes.
They ate well and they lived well.
They lived very well, but he controlled the money.
Right. So in saying that, maybe in a way that was a good thing at that time.
Well, I think it was a good thing because they would have never had the opportunity.
Correct.
And they just want to be seen and heard.
Right. They wanted to be famous.
Exactly.
They wanted to be celebrities.
Most of us came from a poor area.
Right.
We didn't know any different. I didn't know there were going to be superstars. Oh, I tell you another one. We went to Cornell's funeral in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
And we're standing in front of the church, and my wife's a little nervous. We're only white face. Well, we're not the only ones, but close. We're standing there, and Little Richard pulls up in his limo.
Little Richard.
Mm-hmm.
He gets out and he says, "Hey, white boy, what are you doing at this black funeral?" I thought my wife was going to die. Come over and give me a big hug and a kiss on the cheek. He's another one. He's out of this world. Little Richard was incredible. And I met the Iceman, another great singer. He's just unbelievable. Just so many people and so many names you're rejuvenating in my head I wasn't prepared for. But I met a lot of great people. There's a lot of great people out there in this world.
Now, I understand that Little Richard, even though he came to the funeral, is it true that Cornell taught him everything that he knows about rock and roll?
Well, I don't believe that 100%.
Well, that's what he said, I'm thinking.
I think he already had the talent. Cornell just redirected him in the right direction.
Okay.
The man had the talent.
A little bit of rock and roll, right?
Oh, my gosh. When he walked into it, look, when that man walked in, the room lit up.
Okay.
I met him on WXYZ TV too, Detroit Bandstand. And when he came in, the whole place went crazy.
Okay.
Because that was him. He was an attention getter.
Okay.
Little Richard was really something else.
Little Richard. Now, I remember seeing a movie, and mine all goes back to movies for the most part, because I don't have the experience that you have yet, but I'm heading for it, okay?
You get there.
So when I say that, I mean, Little Richard, like you said, he brought a lot of attention to every time he entered the room, he was like, me, let's be here, let's make it happen. Right.
Dave Cornell was real controlled and very jealous.
Really?
Cornell was a control freak.
Jealous of what?
Of everything. We booked a show, and he says, "Well, I'm the lead. Why is 29-cent cocktails bigger sign than me?" I says, "I don't own the casino." He says, "Your wife, she's a beginner. Why is her name's so big and mine's almost the same size?" I said, "Cornell, just do the damn show. I'm paying you big money."
Oh,
that was Cornell. Cornell, I don't know if you know much about.
Really? I'd like to bring you in as well. You come sit in between us and talk about it because I like to talk about stuff.
Come on.
No, it's us.
You got time.
Okay. Well,
We'll set another meeting.
Okay, no problem.
Because she did a lot of country shows.
Well, we can hear you though.
The guy, Carl Perkins, who wrote the songs for Elvis Presley, Don't Step on My Blue Suede Shoes. I'll tell you the whole story on that. He wrote her 13 songs. She's doing 6 of them. Wow. She's going into Nashville, and she's going to, actually, she's not going to Nashville. She's going to where he originally, his original studio. And you could interview her and talk to her. She's born and raised here.
I would love to talk about it with your wife because I know she has a lot of history too. You told me she was a race car driver, first woman ever. And so I'm excited to talk about that as well. So we're going to talk about that.
Yes.
And for you, I just want to go back to the history of everything once again.
Oh, I'll make up a big list. I'll be more prepared next time because I really didn't know what I was going to walk into. When I met your husband, I was over buying some catfish. And we got to talking. I said, "What do you do?" He says, "I have a radio show." I said, "You want to put it on One Net Pack?" Now, One Net Pack is our company.
Right.
And my wife's the CEO of that. She makes sure things get done. We have over 10 million followers.
Are you kidding me?
No. We're
10 million?
10 million.
Oh, my goodness, guys. That's a lot of
50 states. We're in Mexico. We're in the Philippines.
Wow.
And we're going to put a Philippine site there. We already have the Hispanic site there. See, in Nevada, what people don't realize is 38% Hispanic, 28% Filipino, 12% is Black. There's your buyers.
That's right.
You got to take care of these people. Nobody don't get it. It's too simple.
Well, simplicity is not there anymore. You have to have high tech this, high tech that.
Yeah.
Everything is high tech. Nobody believes in simplicity anymore. No. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, and I met the guy who did that.
I have to say that.
I met the guy who wrote that. I went to a show in Detroit when I was a kid. I mean, not in Detroit, but in California when I worked in a car business. I went to it. It cost $500 for 6 tapes. And I listened to those tapes. And that helped build my career.
So by listening to the tapes, you got your character into it because it taught you, like, we always can fake it to make it.
How to overcome objections and how to find out what people really want to do. And he was a Arkansas or Tennessee attorney. And so many stories is unbelievable. The people I met in my lifetime. And when I was roller skating at Arcadia, I didn't know I had talent. I never knew it. And I won the men's fours skating. And that gave me the backbone and the confidence that I had that I could actually accomplish something. Because I went up against some big, big people skating. And it gave me the opportunity, and I didn't realize it until years later. That's what built my foundation between selling and learning that winning that state contest. Sometimes in life, you get a lot of opportunities. You just don't know what to do with them.
Right.
And I was lucky enough to meet the right people. And you know what? Greed kills people.
I believe that.
I learned from Elvis Presley's guitar player. Elvis Presley, how he got started, he went to the general and he says, Colonel, excuse me. He says, "What do I need to book you? Have you book me?" He says, "Well, I get 15 to 20%.
Right.
He said, if I give you 50% the rest of my life, will you make me a star?" He wasn't greedy. So when I make a deal, I cut a deal. I want everybody to win.
Right, and that's a good thing.
We all have to win.
And when you said that, the Colonel, it comes back to greed. Do you think that Colonel got greedy?
I don't think he got greedy at all. I think he's seen an opportunity. He made 15 to 20% on booking shows. Right. Here he has an opportunity to make 50. So guess who came second? Everybody else.
Okay.
Elvis had talent.
He did.
He wasn't really educated now.
Right.
But you don't have to be educated to have talent. And I'll tell you, most of the multimillionaires I met in my lifetime, and I met a lot of them, most of them had under 10th or 11th grade education. They just didn't know they couldn't do it.
You know what? I don't believe that you have to be educated to become rich. I don't believe you have to be educated to become successful or anything like that. You have to believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself, you put God first, believe in yourself, all else will follow.
You look in the mirror, that's who you have to depend on, and God will take care of the rest.
That's right. Believe in it. That's where it comes back to fake it to make it almost, because I say that is every day you're writing a resume. Is that correct?
99.9%.
Oh my goodness. And the resume that you're writing is beautiful. I mean, you started from the bottom, like you said, you used to hustle. You don't have to hustle anymore. We all hustle to a certain point, though, when I say that. Right. We all hustle to a certain point when I say that, because we're always looking for another opportunity.
Yes.
And it seems like everything just drops in your lap because you know the right people, you get in the right places, and you're led by your spirit.
My wife invented several products to be out over the next 90 days.
Okay.
And they're very simple things.
You know, well, here we go back to simplicity,
Yeah.
if we allow it, correct?
Yes. And she invented a product called the Red Light Defender. You flash into people's face, it blinds them temporarily so you can get away if you're an older person or a senior. And she had, in fact, I wore the back brace, 60, that she invented, a special one. 67 million people are humpback by the time they're 50 or 60, seniors. And now the IT people are sitting around like this all day. They need this. So she comes up with these real simple ideas, and there's nothing on the market about it. And it'll be, well, you could talk to her about that when she comes on your show.
I will, because everything sounds, once again, you're in the right place. You got the right woman.
Got the right time.
Right timing, right everything.
It's all his fault because we were both buying catfish.
Well, you know what? Catfish is my favorite fish.
Mine too.
Oh, wow. Give me 5 on that one, because you know what? There's no better fish. The Mario's has the best fish.
That's what I've been buying for the last 10 years.
Are you kidding me?
No.
We have too.
That's
we should have met you 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it wasn't predestined 10 years ago. It was predestined now.
Right.
You know what? Is there anything else that you would like to talk about with your history?
I'd like to meet with you again and give you more. I'll be more prepared for the boat. Motown has so many great stories. And the people that became hits earned the right.
Got to ask you a question now.
Yes.
Now, when you were in there when they were playing music or making music, were you in there then?
Oh, yeah.
Now, did they really have tambourines and
They had
saxophones?
everything.
Really?
And what they did is they played the music, didn't have them take the different things out and didn't add things.
Okay.
I know my wife did a song before, it's called before, she did a song, and we just happened to be at somebody's house that had 4 big time history jazz singers or players. And they played the song for her, and it just fit. We didn't plan it.
Well, you know, some things are better unplanned.
Yeah, she's on several mini shows.
Well, you know what? When I get to your wife, boy, we're going to talk about it. When I say talk about it, it is definitely let's talk about it with Mrs. R.
Because she knows I love to interrupt.
Well, that's okay. Sometimes I interrupt too. But you know what? I am so glad that I'm able to talk to you. And like I said, it was my honor as well.
Yeah.
You know what? I like making everybody my friend. And today you have been my friend. You have brought so much to me.
Yes.
I know I like talking about Motown, but I have to ask you before we go.
Yeah.
Now, where did it get the name from, Motown? Was it Motor Industries? Was it for Detroit? What was it for?
Well,
where did Motown
I asked Barry
come about?
that several times. And Barry said, well, we're in the motor industry. And he says, Motown and rock and roll, it seemed to fit.
So it's the name for Detroit. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Well, you know what? It's been a pleasure to speak with you today. I was so excited that I was going to get to talk to you. And I'm still excited because I know we're going to do much more. Much more.
We just begun.
All right. Well, that's what I'm talking about.
Also, we're going to put you on our one net pack. It's netpac.com. You will have the only show like it on there.
Oh, wow.
It'll be in 50 states. It'll be in Mexico. Probably won't understand it, but it'll be in the Philippines. And I have a lot of friends in the Philippines.
Well, you know what? We are so excited to be a part and be on your website and just be with you. Guys, you know what? It's been a blessing today to be able to talk to Dr. Brown. I'm so excited. We have much more coming for you. And Dr. Brown will be back. And we might just do Dr. Brown and his wife, but we will be interviewing his wife so we can give you much more of everything that's going on behind the scenes with them. Thank you so much for tuning in to Let's Talk About It with Mrs. R. Make sure you continue to listen. And that's what's hot with Mrs. R.
Thank you.
I am